Hi, my name is Charles Flatterbury. On today's episode, we will be exploring the world of the Indians of Utah. This is a subject I always love to talk about because it is ridiculously interesting. You see, before the United States became known as what it is today, the Indians, or Native Americans, were here living off the land and had been here for thousands of years, way before the white settlers. The Indians had a very different way of life than the white settlers did, and many Indians were forced out of their lands. There were many different types of tribes of Indians living all over the Americas at the time of the settlers. But I want to focus today mainly on the Indians that lived in Utah at the time the white settlers started to arrive in Utah. Today we are also going to talk a little about what the Indians were like and what things made them different from each other. This brings me to my first guest, who happens to be an expert on Utah Indians. His name is Larry. He received his doctorate degree in Native American history from a very pristine university. Larry, are you there?
Yes, Charles, I'm here.
Tell us a little about the different tribes of Indians.
Well, when people started to arrive in Utah, there were 5 different tribes of Indians living in the area. The Shoshone, who mostly settled in the northern parts of Utah around the Great Salt Lake. The Goshute, the mostly settled in the Midwest area of Utah. The Utes, who seemed to settle a greater area of Utah around the mid-east part of Utah. The Paiute tribe, who settled the southwest parts of Utah, and the Navajo, who settled the southeast parts of Utah.
I have a question.
Yes, Charles?
Did we get the name of the state of Utah from the Ute Indian tribe?
Yes, we did. Very observant, Charles. Good job. I don't really like being interrupted, though, so if you can keep your questions till later, that would be great.
Okay, sorry, Larry.
Thanks. Well, anyways, each of these tribes were different from each other in many ways. For example, the Navajo people generally lived in one area most of their lives, while the Utes, Paiutes, Goshutes, and Shoshones lived a nomadic way of life.
Sorry to interrupt again, Larry, but what does it mean to live a nomadic way of life?
It means to always be traveling around and never staying in just one place. But as I was saying, the Navajos planted and grew most of their food like farmers, while the other tribes traveled around searching for plants and animals to eat. It is true that some tribes, such as the Paiutes or Shoshones or Goshutes, planted crops for food. They weren't full-time farmers like the Navajo were. A different thing about the Goshutes was that they found uses for more than 100 different kinds of plants. So they really knew their herbs. They also ate insects and crickets, which they ground up and made into cakes. Doesn't that sound delicious?
Well, not really, Larry, but I'm sure with you being a bird and all, it sounds mighty tasty.
Sure does. You're crazy if you don't enjoy a good cricket every now and then.
Right. Well, anyways, Larry, I appreciate you coming in on the show to talk a little about the 5 different types of Indian tribes in Utah. What were they again?
I already told you. They are the Shoshone, Goshute, Ute, Paiute, and Navajo tribes. Want to hear a song I made up about how to remember them?
I don't know.
Here it is. The 5 tribes of Utah are Shoshone, Goshute, Ute, and Paiute, and Navajo. The 5 tribes of Utah are Shoshone, Goshute, Ute, Paiute, and Navajo.
Very interesting, Larry. Well, looks like we've got to let you go.
Wait! I have more! The 5 tribes of Utah!
Well, moving on, our next guest just so happens to be an expert on Utah Indian life. His name is Mr. Stallion.
Hey, Charles, what's going on? Long time no see, yeah?
Yeah, Mr. Stallion, it's nice to have you on the show again. Tell our guests a little about your background.
Well, I've been living wild here in Utah for a very long time, and my experiences with Indians of Utah is very extensive due to much observation and seeing up close what really goes on around each tribe. I was once owned by a few members of the Paiute and Ute tribes. Oh, those were the good old days, when we all ran free and shared many adventures together.
I didn't know you were that old, Mr. Stallion.
I don't really like to talk about it, but yes, I guess you would say I am pretty old. I really enjoyed being with the Indians. The tribes were always very good at respecting nature and treating all animals as if they were very special and essential to all life. They shared the land with animals and birds. They didn't step on a snake's tracks in the sand or disturb a fox's den. They said the land belonged to the spider, the ant, and the deer, the same as it does people. I really liked that. They were a very spiritual people that enjoyed getting big groups together to sing and pray. They believed much in beauty and harmony and performed many dances and songs. There seemed to be a magic in singing and dancing. There was power in the music. They sang songs to protect hunters. They sang songs to make children grow strong and healthy. They sang songs to make corn grow. They danced, chanted, and played musical instruments to bring rain and make night winds blow. A very, very magnificent people.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, yes it is. You know, a lot of the Indian tribes today still meet together often to do these things.
You mean even today they still do this?
Why, yes, all the time. Go and check one out for yourself. They have them all the time.
I'll definitely have to do that. Thank you, Mr. Stallion, for your great insight from all your close-up and personal experiences from the past.
Oh, Charles, I forgot something. I actually have a video clip of myself and one of my owners getting ready to go on a buffalo hunt. Oh, those were amazing days and extremely exciting. Here, let me get it out for you. Right there, look.
Where? I can't really tell which one is you.
I'm the handsome one. Didn't I look just amazing back then?
You sure did. I'm speechless.
Oh, here comes the good part. I knew you'd like that.
Well, thanks again, Mr. Stallion, for being such a great guest.
You're welcome, Charles. Let me know if you want me to come back again.
I sure will. Everyone give Mr. Stallion a round of applause. Okay, now for my last guest. He is a well-known scholar that hails from southern Utah. His name is Biff Sirloin. Biff, come on out.
Moo. Hey, Charles.
What would you like to talk about today, Biff?
I would like to talk about my main field of study, which is Utah Native American art and culture. As time went on in the history of Native Americans, many tribes developed and mastered various unique skills. Much of the art produced by the tribes reflected and showed much of their beliefs, traditions, and stories that held a lot of meaning and significance. For example, the Navajo tribes used their sacred colors, which were black, white, blue, and yellow, in their blankets, rugs, and other art. To the Navajo, each of these colors had a special meaning. They got very good at using these special colors in their weaving. Many of the tribes also were very good at making baskets, which served important purposes in their lifestyle of always traveling from place to place. Buckskin tanning was also a highly valued skill the tribes were known for. The buckskins were highly valued in trades with other tribes and non-Indian settlers. Another amazing skill that the Indians were known for was their beautiful and intricate workmanship with beads. Originally, the Indians would use animal teeth, claws, and bones to decorate themselves with, but as more early trappers and traders entered their lands, they were able to get beads to decorate themselves and their clothing. They really mastered this skill and were able to make some amazing and beautiful stuff. I could go on and on and on with the talent and skills the tribes of Utah had. But I don't want to be that old cow and take up all the time on the show. No.
Thanks for that. We are running out of time, but you have shown us a lot of really cool things about the Indian tribes that I'm sure we'll always remember. Thanks for coming.